Satyam vadishyami Tanmavatu Tadbhaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Bhaktaram Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
So he came down from there. Winter morning, 1st January, very nice weather there. He came out with a group of devotees and he walked down. Those who have gone there, they know there is a garden, up to the gate there is a road. And more or less the topography is now what it is there, is what it used to be during the time of Sri Ramakrishna. So he walked and a group of devotees who had come. Remember, it was a holiday, 1st January, so many devotees had come. Among them, very well-known devotees. Ramchandra Datta was there, Girish Ghosh was there, Atul was there, probably M, the recorder of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, probably was there, and some others also. There is Ram Lal, who was a nephew of Sri Ramakrishna, he was there. And many of the direct disciples, the sannyasi disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, they were there in Kashipur, but they were not part of what happened. So Sri Ramakrishna walked down. Now Narendra and Vivekananda and all, they were there. But at that time they were resting because whole night they had been awake, either taking care of Sri Ramakrishna or they had lit a fire and they were meditating in the grove there. So they were not part of it. They missed it. The whole thing they missed. Sri Ramakrishna walked down. Girish and other devotees, when they saw him, they approached him. They bowed down to Sri Ramakrishna. When Girish bowed down to Sri Ramakrishna looked at him, and he himself asked, before Girish could say anything, Sri Ramakrishna asked, "What have you seen in me that you say all these things to others?" All these things means, Girish used to go around telling people, these two were there, Girish Ghosh and Ramchandra Datta. They used to go around in Calcutta telling people with confidence that we have understood Sri Ramakrishna is an incarnation of God, is an avatar, not just a holy man, not just a sadhu, not just an enlightened person, not just a great spiritual teacher, but actually an incarnation of God. What happened in ancient times when Ramchandra came? What happened after that when Krishna came? Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga. Again, the same thing is happening now in this day and age. God has come again in the form of Sri Ramakrishna. Of course, many people did not believe. Nowadays we all say Avatar, Varishta and all, but at that time who understood? Very few people. So, but they would go around with great confidence, they would say. Sri Ramakrishna asked Girish, "What have you seen in me? Why are you saying these things?" Girish goes with great devotion, with faith. He bowed down, he folded his hands and he says, "What can I say about him, about whom Vyasa or Valmiki also could not say?" It escaped their capacity also to express the glories of that one. Valmiki, Ramayana, Vyasa, the Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, the stories of Rama, stories of Krishna, life of Rama, life of Krishna. What they could not fully express, both of them, they said, is beyond our capacity to understand. What Vyasa could not do, what Valmiki could not do, what will I say? When he said this, expressing his firm faith that he who was Rama, he who is Krishna, is Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna himself had testified to this. Swami Abhedananda, it is there in a recording, 1936, in Sri Ramakrishna Centenary, Swami Abhedananda gave a talk, and thanks to All India Radio at that time, British, so they recorded that talk. The talk is available, and in that, you can find on YouTube now. In that, Abhedananda is saying, we have heard from his lips many times, not once, many times, he who was Rama, he who was Krishna is in this body, Ramakrishna. So when Girish Ghosh said this, Sri Ramakrishna's grace overflowed all kripa, overflowed all bounds, and he said, "What can I say ki ar bolbo? Tomader shabai ka chaitanya ho, may you all be illumined. Tomader chaitanya ho, may you all be illumined." And he touched Girish Ghosh. Now, when he touched Girish Ghosh, and anybody, one after another, the devotees came and bowed down to him, he started touching them. Now this, Sharadanji says, we have seen this many times earlier in Dakshineshwar also. Few selected devotees, occasionally, he would transmit the spiritual power, awaken their kundalini, awaken their spiritual consciousness. So they would have a vision of God, a direct experience of God. What we take maybe lifetimes to accomplish through our long spiritual practice. We are all on the journey. That would happen in an instant when Sri Ramakrishna touched. So that he would do. But Sharadanandaji writes, never have we seen, first time we saw, everybody, whoever was there, whoever came and bowed down to him, to that person itself, he touched and he awakened their spiritual consciousness. So, what was the effect? Different effect. They all had visions, but different kinds of visions of God, of their Ishta Devata, of God as the chosen. Those whose Ishta Devata, some worship God as Rama, some as Krishna, some as Kali, Durga, some as Ganesha, some as Shiva, in whatever form. In whatever way they worshipped God, they had that vision. And some started coming and bowing down to him, offering flowers at his feet. Some started chanting Sanskrit mantras. And they picked flowers from the nearby flowering trees and threw flowers on him. Some went right there, they sat down in meditation, absorbed in deep meditation. They forgot the whole world. Perhaps the kind of meditation, one of them said, never in my life I had that kind of meditation. Just when he touched, there itself. Then some started singing and dancing like a madman. Some were behaved like mad people, singing and dancing with joy. Others started shouting, wherever you are, come quickly. Those who are staying in the house, come quickly. Come and Sri Ramakrishna is giving kripa, grace. And this went on for some time. Sri Ramakrishna himself had gone into samadhi. He was in a ardhavajja dasha, which what is called semi-ecstatic state, where he is aware of the external world, but he is clearly absorbed in God. He is having the experience of God, and yet shadow-like the external world is available to him. After some time, Sri Ramakrishna's ecstatic mood came down, and he walked with the group of devotees back to the house. So this is 1st January, and this is called Kalpa Taru. Kalpa Taru, why? The old idea of Kalpa Taru is that in heaven, Swarga, there is a tree. There is a tree, it's a story, under which if you sit and make any wish, anything you want, it will be fulfilled. Immediately it will be fulfilled. That is Kalpa Taru. But it may be good wish, it may be bad wish also. Anything harmful also, if you want, it will happen in your life. There is a story, Sri Ramakrishna told this story, that there was this Kalpa Taru in the forest. And a man who was walking long journey through the forest was tired. He lay down under that tree. He did not know it was Kalpa Taru. And he thought, I'm so hungry. I wish I had some food, nice food to eat. He was just daydreaming. Immediately from nowhere, so many plates and dishes and glasses appeared with all sorts of nice food. He was stunned. He looked around, where has it come from? He ate nicely, sleepy. I wish I had a nice bed. I'm lying on the ground. Nice soft bed appeared. So he lay down on the bed. He thought, my God, whatever I'm thinking is happening instantly. But this is a forest. My God, what will happen if a tiger comes? And a tiger came and ate him. What is the meaning of this story? The meaning of the story is the Kalpa Taru is there all the time. One meaning is that God is the Kalpa Taru. And our own karma phala, by what we do in this life, that generates its results, good and bad. Not instantly, but over lifetime. And Swami Vivekananda says, never desire anything, because if you desire something, you will get it. We all suffer because we think we want this or we want that. Money, fame, people should like me, whatever we want, success. And Swami Vivekananda says, if you are a spiritual seeker, don't desire. Because the more we desire, the more we will get, and the more entangled you will become in the world. When you get what you desire, those are a little mature, you understand. Many things which are coming into our lives or which have come into our lives, we realize we wanted something like this at some time. But when it comes, we don't want it anymore. Too late. You have ordered it. Amazon Prime, it will deliver. You cannot cancel. It will come. And when it comes, you don't want it. It's more trouble than it is worth. And Kalpa Taru is dangerous. That good things can happen, bad things can happen. Another meaning of the Kalpa Taru is our own mind. whatever you wished for in the mind over a long period of time, that we will attract, good and bad. So you have to be very careful what sort of thoughts we should cultivate in the mind. But Swami Sardanji writes, Sri Ramakrishna was not Kalpa Taru like that. It's not that he gave good things and bad things, worldly things and dangerous things. No, nothing. He gave only one thing. This fearlessness through spiritual realization. Sri Ramakrishna revealed his form, Abhayada, giving fearlessness. In samsara we are always trapped by fear. Dvitiyad vai bhayam bhavati. With this duality, this sense of I am this limited being and this whole world is there outside me. Some of it is tempting, some of it is terrifying. And I am struggling with this world. This is samsara. Dvitiyad vai bhayam bhavati. If there is any duality, if there is any other than you, then sorrow, fear is certain. Only bhuma eva sukham. Only the infinite, where there is no second. Nobody is another to you. Holy Mother's last teaching, no one is another to you, my child. They are all your own. Jagat ke apnar kore nite shikho. Then what happens? The other goes away. There is no second then. Bhuma eva sukham. Nalpe sukham asti. So, Sri Ramakrishna gave that abhaya, fearlessness to everybody. By this spiritual realization. Swami Sardanji has given two examples. He interviewed people. He knew who was present there. He interviewed what happened when he touched you. So two examples he has given. One is Ramlal, who was very dear to Sri Ramakrishna, his own nephew. Ramlal said, I had already been initiated. I've got a mantra from my uncle, from Sri Ramakrishna. And I used to meditate. I used to visualize God in my heart and repeat the mantra. And I would find it difficult to meditate if I visualize the face of God, the Ishta Devata, the rest of the body would not be visible. If I visualize the feet, the upper part of the body was not be visible. I could not visualize the whole body. And anyway, whatever I visualized, it was a visualization. It was an imagination. It was not living. It's like I am imagining something. But the moment Sri Ramakrishna touched me on 1st January, said, Jal jal kare utro, like blazing forth by itself, the living form of Ishwar, of the Ishta Devata in my heart. It blazed forth. And I think from that time onwards, effortlessly he would have this. It's like it's a vision of God. It happens only in advanced stages of sadhana, of mantra sadhana, Ishta Devata. That was Ramlal. Another person Swami Sardanji interviewed was Vivekananda Shandal, who was also there, another devotee, who was with Sri Ramakrishna. Sardanji says, from the time we have been going to Sri Ramakrishna, Vivekananda Shandal also used to come to Sri Ramakrishna. Now Vivekananda Shandal, he had been initiated, he used to do japa, meditation, but he says he realized, without special grace, he says, I know my condition. I will not be able to progress to samadhi and God realization. I need help. And he saw that Sri Ramakrishna was doing it for others. He was touching them and making them, getting the vision of God. And he had already asked 2 or 3 times before to Sri Ramakrishna, please do this for me. I am trying, but it's not by my own efforts. That is all our condition only. We all know that we require a special grace of God. And Sri Ramakrishna has said that let this throat cancer, let it get a little better, I will do everything for you. That day, when he was touching the devotees and they were all having these visions and amazing experiences of samadhi, Vaikuntanath Sannal was there. He went and fell at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna and he said, please give me kripa and do it today for me. Sri Ramakrishna said, you have already achieved everything. Vaikuntanath Sannal, so this dialogue I really like it. You have already achieved everything. Vaikuntanath Sannal's reply was, if you are saying it must be so, but I don't understand it. So do it so that I can understand it a little. And Sri Ramakrishna said, all right. And he touched Vaikuntanath Sannal just gently on the chest. And Vaikuntanath Sannal says, when he was interviewed by Swami Sardanji many years later, he says, the moment Sri Ramakrishna touched me, I had this vision of the effulgent form of Thakur, with eyes closed, with eyes open. Whenever I would even open my eyes, in the sky I would see Thakur, in the earth I would see Thakur, in the Ganga, in the water I would see Thakur. In all human beings, I would see Thakur. In all non-living things, wherever, in all directions, I would see the luminous, smiling form of Thakur, of Sri Ramakrishna. And my heart overflowed so much joy, ananda, continuously, without stop, without any effort, without any effort. Rather, no effort to do this. Rather, he could not stop it. Even with effort also, trying to stop it also, he could not stop it. And like an intoxicated man, he went back home, he says. And it did not stop. Whether I am at home, whether I am going on the streets of Calcutta, whether I am in the office, working in the office, continuously I am having this experience. And overwhelmed, wave after wave of joy is coming. Then what happened is interesting. After 1 day, 2 days, he says his work in the office, in the home, it began to suffer. He can't put his mind to anything. And he became a little shaky. He became afraid. Will I go mad? Hardly able to sleep. Will I go mad? Will I die? This goes on. I can't stop it. He's trying to stop it, trying to do some other work. No. And finally, he says, many years later, he said, why I was such a fool, I don't know. But I could not bear it anymore. I realized then, he says, why sadhana is necessary. Why a great deal of purity of mind and sadhana, spiritual practice, japa and dhyana and prayer, it is necessary to prepare the mind to hold on to this experience. Without sadhana, one cannot have that experience, but if by chance, rare grace of an avatar, of a siddha, you get that experience also, you will not be able to hold on to it. It will actually after some time become suffering. It will become too much. So he prayed to Sri Ramakrishna, let it stop. Let it stop. And he says, the moment he prayed, very soon the whole experience went away. He says, I'm fully convinced by whose grace I got that experience, by that one's grace only, Sri Ramakrishna's grace. It stopped, it was withdrawn. And then he says, many years later, he says to Saradanji, now I wonder, why did I say that? Why did I not have the patience to wait and see what will happen? What could have happened worst? I would have gone mad. Or I might have died. But instead what I got, my samsara continued. In Ishvara, in Bhagavan, in any, especially, more powerful is taking refuge in Avatara, in Rama, Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And especially in Sri Ramakrishna, we believe him to be Yuga Avatara, the avatar of this age, more powerful. Sri Ramakrishna used to say the coin of the Mughal era does not work now. Now new currency is there. So what he meant by that is a new power is there in this world. A great power has come to this world, and we are still, who we are here now, we're still very close to Sri Ramakrishna. Imagine if you had been there within 200 years of the passing of Ramchandra, within 200 years of the passing of Sri Krishna, 200 years of the passing of Jesus or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that power in a greater form is manifest now, still available for us. All paths of sadhana will lead to God realization. That is Sri Ramakrishna's teaching. Bhakti, dhyana and samadhi, meditation through samadhi. And of course jnana. By Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, you realize you are this infinite, limitless existence, consciousness, bliss right now. Brahmakara vritti. All are possible. But if you look at our lives, we see it is difficult. Even when you say japa, repetition of the mantra, that is also difficult. We always say it's easier than everything. It's true, it's easy, but comparatively easy only. But if you see in our lives, continuously keeping our mind on the mantra is not easy at all. After some time, the mind will not want it. Swami Brahmananda, Sri Ramakrishna's Manasputra, he was asked once, many people come to you, why don't you give spiritual advice? You just make some small talk or you don't talk at all. Very few people you give little spiritual advice. And he used to give mantra diksha very rarely. Swami Brahmananda said, very seriously he said, কি জানো পূর্ব জন্মের অনেক স্বীকৃতি না থাকলে এই জন্মে সাধন ভজন করতে পারে না. Unless one has a lot of good karma in the past life, in this life you will not feel like doing spiritual practices. You will not feel like it. God is available. Grace is available. We don't want it. Those who want it will get it. But we don't want it. In Ramayana it is there. Sugriv, Bali, Sugriv, Hanuman. After Ramchandra did, actually Sugriv became friends with Ramchandra only through Hanuman. Sugriv was personally not very interested. But Ramchandra helped Sugriv and he defeated Bali and became the king. Kishkinda, I think, he became the king. And nearby Ramchandra was staying with Lakshman and with Hanuman. Now Sugriv became the king and for one whole month he did not come to meet Ramchandra. Until Sri Ramchandra himself sent Hanuman to Sugriv, said, remind him that I am here. That arrow which killed Bali, I still have that arrow. So Sugriv immediately came, rushed and fell at the feet of Ramchandra. Now what does that mean? This little incident, it shows me someone such a good person like Sugriv also, who is a devotee of Ramchandra also. When Sri Ramchandra is available to you in a short distance from your capital city, you should go daily. You should stay there itself. Spiritual retreat along with Sri Ramchandra. 1 month, no interest. It's Sri Ramchandra who had to call him. So, a great Sukriti, Purva Janma Samskara is necessary to start spiritual practice. Otherwise, the only unfailing thing we have got is grace of God. Of course, through spiritual practice also, through bhakti, through dhyana, through jnana, when we attain God realization, that is also by the grace of God. Sadhakas will say. But to do spiritual practice also we require the grace of God. That is why it's very important. When Sri Ramakrishna says to Vaikunthanath Chandal, you have achieved everything. How? Through his sadhana? No. Because he took refuge in Sri Ramakrishna. If we take refuge in Sri Ramakrishna, if we take refuge in God, Sharanagati, then the responsibility is God's responsibility. And God is not irresponsible. We can be irresponsible. God is not irresponsible. Once we surrender to God, once He catches us, and that is forever. If we cooperate with God in this life by doing sadhana, it will be faster. If we don't cooperate, if we live our lives in all sorts of nonsense and worldliness, it will take longer. But God will ultimately bring us. We will not be lost. We are very fortunate. Those who have taken mantra diksha, those who have sincerely surrendered to Sri Ramakrishna from their heart at least once. We are very fortunate because He has taken responsibility for us. Now we just have to cooperate a little bit to make our life easier and His job easier also. The more we cooperate with it, more mantra japa we do, the more we pray, the more we purify our lives and lead an honest, ethical life, then we will find our spiritual progress is much faster, our suffering is much less. And in this very life itself, like Vaikunthanath Chandal, we will understand. Not only we have achieved everything, but as he said, Vaikunthanath Chandal also is very clever. He said, I agree, I have achieved. Yes, you are saying so, I cannot doubt it. But I don't understand anything. You show me. And that also is interesting. Sri Ramakrishna gave the grace, showed him, but he couldn't bear it. So probably I get the feeling in our spiritual life, we get what we deserve. At this point, we have got everything that is necessary for our spiritual growth and God realization. We have got everything. You have got Vedanta, you have got Sri Ramakrishna, you have got mantra. I'm not just saying Sri Ramakrishna's mantra. Any Ishtadevata, if you have got mantra by a guru, Krishna, Radha, Shiva, Divine Mother, Parvati, Sharada, Ramakrishna, whatever mantra you have got. Swami Tapasyananda Ji was the vice president of our order. He says in one place, when you have been initiated, you have been given the mantra by the Guru, you have already